Well, good day, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. It seems to be a debacle on Trudeau's empire. Everybody tries to wonder about how these tariffs are going to work, and then there's this propaganda, of course. Oh, everything inside the United States is going to get more expensive because tariffs are going to cause prices to rise up. It's a simple metaphor. It's called, why would you go to the grocery store and buy a gallon of milk when you own a whole dairy farm? We have a massive amount of surplus of steel, stainless steel, copper, petroleum, gasoline. We got more than anybody else in the nations, We got more tomatoes and vegetables and corn and wheat and yes, we don't need a bunch of illegal aliens in here picking our apples and our oranges and our fruits, because why? I keep trying to tell people this. It's called modern technology. They got a little thing that they can go up against that little orange tree with. If you hadn't seen that, it just shakes the shit out of it and all the oranges fall off, and they collect them in a collector and it puts them in the process, and that brings up the funniest shit I've seen. Justin Trudeau, the leader of Canada, saying to his citizens about Florida orange juice. You might go to the store and pay attention to the products on the shelf and pick a product that's produced and made in Canada. That was his excuse. Let me explain it to you as I know it. The economy of Canada is damn near 100% dependent on the United States. They have the Chevrolet Camaro company that builds all the Chevrolet Camaros. It's in Canada. You see, the Windsor territory of Windsor, they produce engine components and transmission components and suspension components and all kinds of stuff for what? Distribution inside the American assembly plants. You see, when hundreds of thousands of people of Canada can simply be completely put out of work, yes, it's going to put Justin Trudeau in a quagmire. The fact of the matter is we are a country of abundance. And I've heard this, we got a shortage of eggs. I heard somebody say this about putting some chickens in a bathtub, but believe it or not, eggs will probably be down to 59 cents a dozen real soon. And if you understand what's exactly going on, I've been noticing for the last several years that all of the salvage industries and steel industries have been stockpiling. You got to understand this, stockpiling millions of tons of steel inside this country. It's not being exported. Most of the steel we just been buying extra steel from China and bringing in extra materials from other countries and fortifying our nation, if that makes any sense. It means that we've closed the door and locked the refrigerator for all foreign influence, and we have plenty, believe it or not, you know. So people can go fool themselves into thinking that, oh, we're gonna turn into a third world country. There's not gonna be any food left on the shelves at the stores, you know. The panic propaganda. One is the governor of Florida has already passed new legislation that says no. See, and they was trying to say that anybody that had any dealings with foreign illegals being inside Florida, they had to contact, the state troopers were actually going to have to contact the Department of Agriculture. So you see where that comes from. It means that they said no to that bill, and it means that you get caught in the state of Florida and you're an illegal, that means your ass is getting deported. That's just a simple fact. They're not going to go have to call the Department of Agriculture, of all people, to be able to rightfully deport your ass out of their state. How much sense does that make? People need to be understanding that it's not what you think. Tariffs, that just means that I lived through a generation when the most expensive shit that you could buy was something that had to be imported from Europe. Like, you want to go buy a Rolls Royce. It was actually cheaper to go get on a plane, go to Europe, go to a Rolls Royce dealership, buy the Rolls Royce, put it in a shipping container, and ship it back to the United States, and you actually had the benefit of saving enough money to take a small vacation while you was over there in Europe. I have a doctor friend of mine that actually did that back in 1972 because the Rolls Royce was so damn expensive and taxed to be able to come into this country, and so was Mercedes-Benz, you see. It would appear that, like I said, Americans, we like to eat. We have plenty of cows. We have plenty of vegetables. We have plenty of wheat. We have mass amounts of bakeries inside this nation to make bread and pastries and whatever you want to ever think about. The fact of the matter is I actually seen a video, and I'll put the link in the description, of a couple of people that put up a video from a poultry plant and says, hey, you want to get a good job making $15, $16 an hour? They're taking applications like mad down there at the local poultry place because ICE has already done come in there and removed all of the people. You see, it's not like we don't have an endless supply of chicken, pork, beef, wheat, vegetables, automotive, cars, you know, production. We have all that, and we have abundance of it. So it means that the cost of eggs is probably going to go back down to about 59 cents for a dozen, reasonably. It means that this European Union of world police, you know, is ended. It means that it's like a bad relationship, and we just actually just want a divorce. So that's how it works, plain and simple. There's not going to be any food shortages. There's not going to be any fuel shortages. There's not going to be any shortages, energy, or anything else inside the United States of America. And it's just like somebody from Canada had already made a video, and I watched it last night. It's kind of like, well, whenever Justin Trudeau decided to leave the energy alone. See, everybody wants to leave that energy alone. Why, Justin Trudeau? Because if you decide to cut the power switch off coming over into the northeast parts of the northest part of America, it means we're probably going to give you 72 hours to turn that light switch back on before we invade your ass. You see, people pay close attention. We're just in a cleansing process right now. Everything inside this country is going to be lowered in price. We have abundance of availability inside this country. Always will. We're not going to have shortages in our stores. It's not going to happen. We're not going to run out of petroleum by no means. And don't buy into all this propaganda. It means that Justin Trudeau in Canada is getting his feet put to the fire on this problem. And one of the problems is immigration. You know, it's like you can't seal your border, you can't nothing. You know, you expect that we should furnish and supply hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jobs to the Canadians that depend on the American industry inside Canada. You have to understand this. Canada doesn't own any big industry, and we own all of the petroleum, the investments in the petroleum drilling, the plants, the exploratory drilling, all of that stuff. Our companies, American companies, own that. Canada needs to just chill out. Sure, it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them a lot, 25% above the present. I remember back in 1990, a pack of Marlboro Red cigarettes in Canada cost you about $10, all the way back in 1990. And as far as what I was saying, the electronic funds transfer system that goes into Guatemala, Colombia, Mexico, all these people that's running in these money transfer places and trying to transfer money over out of the United States into their country, just ended. See, that means a lot if you can put it all together. But right now, like I said, Justin Trudeau, he just got his penis shoved up his ass, and it's his own damn fault, So, anyways, everybody have a great day, and until the next video, zombie out.